I'm Emily, and the American dream when I was growing up was education and helping one another and going on and making sure that your children had all the things that they didn't have.
And when you were young, did you believe that the American dream was attainable?
Yes. Not like it is today. My parents were from Poland, both my mother and father, so it was hard for them to understand what the American dream was because they didn't have the American dream when they came over. My father was 12, 13, and my mother was only 9 months old. But once they got established, of course they wanted the best for their children. And so they worked. My dad worked very hard in mills. My mother was a homemaker, and so she was always there.
And when you were little, like between the ages of maybe 9 and 14, what was your American dream?
Well, when I was little, when I was 9, there was nothing like American dream. But as I got older and went to school, and I always wanted to be a nurse, but as it was, I never made it that way. But as my children got older, I went back to school and I became a special ed teacher. So I guess I did meet my American dream.
And when you were growing up, there was this idea, this stereotypical idea of, owning a house in a suburb and having 2.5 kids and a white picket house and a white picket fence and, a dog and having your husband come home and lounge on the couch and you bringing him over his magazine and as he sits and you work in the kitchen all day making his dinner. Was that a thing people really thought about? Was that a thing that people tried to achieve?
No, because back then there wasn't all these pre-packaged meals and everything. The mothers did not work, fathers worked, mothers would be home. Of course they didn't have the automatic ovens, washers, dryers. They worked very hard and they cooked. I mean, there was 3 square meals a day, breakfast, and we used to call it dinner and supper, but now it's lunch and dinner. But no, there was never any packaged food. The mothers were, home. They were home when you got home from school, and the father was the breadwinner, what they used to call the breadwinner.
And your parents, as you said, came from Poland. So, did they come here for the American dream?
I don't think they knew what an American dream was. For one thing, the war was breaking out. So, my father was, like I said, 14. My mother was just a baby. My father grew up on a farm here in Augusta. Because that's what they all did in Poland. They all had the farms. And then as I was growing up, I remember having a little garden that was called a victory garden, where you took a little piece of land on your property and would put in your potatoes and your carrots and your turnip and things like that. And that was what you had. You didn't have all the things that people have today, where they don't. 5 minutes and a meal is ready. They cooked, they made their pies, their cakes. Nothing was pre-mixed.
So growing up, the American dream really was a vision for people.
Yes, it was just words. It was words. They didn't have the picket fence. They didn't have the dog. They didn't have all the luxuries that people have today.